Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another lecture on financial laws. And today we'll be covering topics like corporate debt restructuring, strategic debt restructuring, and global depository receipt. We'll be understanding these three concepts of our second unit today. Let me share my screen with you all. Let's understand what is corporate debt restructuring. Like Corporate debt restructuring refers to the realignment of a business entity which is under fiscal distress due to its outstanding commitments and obligations and to infuse liquidity into business operations to keep it afloat. This process is generally done by creditors and the management of the company which is under distress. The creditors of corporates are generally banks and non-banking financial institutions like NBFCs, right? So the corporate debt restructuring is done by lowering the amount of payable towards the debt. Also the interest rate is lowered. So however, the repayment tenure is enhanced, which would help the company in paying the outstanding dues, right? So at times, a part of the company's debt would be waived off by the creditors, but that would be in exchange for equities of the company, of course. Nevertheless, this kind of arrangement is more favorable for the distressed company as compared to declaring themselves to be bankrupt and undergo tedious procedures. What is the need and importance? The requirement for a company to undergo corporate debt restructuring generally arises if a company is going through fiscal difficulties and is finding it challenging to stand by and fulfill its obligations and fiscal commitments like repayment of a loan. So, in simple words, to make you understand, a company owing to higher debt than its potential income. So if the companies see that they are going to experience difficulties that may lead them towards bankruptcy, then they may initiate negotiation with their lenders and creditors and decrease that burden, right? And they were avoiding the chances of being bankrupt, right? Let me start the slideshow. What are the key takeaways? Like corporate debt restructuring refers to the reorganization of a distressed company's outstanding obligations to its creditors. The purpose of a corporate debt restructuring is to restore liquidity to a company so that it can avoid bankruptcy. And third, a corporate debt restructuring usually reduces the levels of debt, decreases the rate of interest on the debt, and increases the time to pay the debt back. So it is important to consider that debt restructuring can take on many forms. Sometimes it's necessary to restructure the debt, right? And other times involve restructuring a bank loan. So overall, restructuring corporate debt gives a company that is facing bankruptcy or cash flow problems to renegotiate the terms of its debts with its creditors. So the idea behind doing so is to restore liquidity and be able to continue operations. So this how this can happen? This may involve delaying the repayment time, converting the debt into equity shares, or reducing interest rates. So going through the debt restructuring process is usually less expensive than bankruptcy. And a lot of costs associated with filing for bankruptcy can be attributed to time and effort spent negotiating with creditors, right? So this is all about the first topic, that is corporate debt restructuring. Now let's understand what is strategic debt restructuring, that is SDR. Now the Reserve Bank of India issued norms for strategic debt restructuring, which gives lenders the right to convert their outstanding loans into majority equity stake if they feel that a change in ownership can help turn around the borrower's business. Like, for example, let me make understand. Let me make you understand strategic debt restructuring. That with rising non-performing loans, that is NPAs or stress loans of banks, the Reserve Bank of India has come out with this strategic debt restructuring scheme, which will enable banks like to recover their bad loans, by converting the advances into equity and taking control of the distressed company. So conversion of outstanding debts can be done by a consortium of lending institutions known as the Joint Lenders Forum, which may include banks and other financial institutions, right? The central bank's move will provide the much needed mechanism to tackle the issues of bad loans, which has affected, of course, the public sector banks the most in the last few years. So, but there are a few conditions like that apply for strategic debt restructuring. Let me tell you those conditions. So, at the time of initial restructuring, the JLF, that is Joint Lenders Forum, must incorporate an option in the loan agreement, like to convert the entire or part of loan, including the unpaid interest, into equity shares. And if a company fails to achieve this milestone, of course, the critical conditions stipulated in the restructuring package. So this is the condition that applies. Also, the decision on invoking the SDR, the strategic debt restructuring, by converting the whole or part of the loan into equity share will be taken by JLF within 30 days from the review of the account. So such decisions will have to be well documented, right, and approved by the majority of the JLF members, like minimum of 75% of creditors by value and 60% of creditors by number. So the decision date is called as a reference date. Now, after the conversion, all lenders under JLF must collectively hold 51% or more of the equity shares issued by the companies. So JLF must approve the SDR conversion package within 90 days from the date of deciding to undertake SDR. And the conversion of debt into equity as approved under the SDR must be completed 90 days from the date of approval of the SDR package by the JLF. So these are all the conditions that apply for SDR. These conditions have to be fulfilled, right? The conversion of the outstanding debt into equity will have to be done at a fair value, which will not exceed the lowest of the following, subject to the floor of face value. That is, average closing market value for 10 trading days preceding the next reference, and breakup value, that is the book value as calculated in the company's latest audited balance sheet. So these are the conditions that apply for SDR. And so I hope you understood what is CDR and what is SDR. Let's understand what is GDR, that is Global Depository Receipt. Now, a Global Depository Receipt is a bank certificate issued in more than one country for shares in a foreign company. So GDRs list shares in two or more markets, more frequently in the by the US market and the Euro markets, which are fungible security. Now, GDRs are most commonly used when the issuer is raising capital in the local market as well as in the international and US markets. So, either through private placements or public stock offerings. A GDR is very similar to an American depository receipt, except an ADR only lists shares of foreign country in the US markets. Difference between ADR. So a GDR is a certificate issued by a bank that represents shares in a foreign stock on two or more global markets, right? So GDR typically trade on American Stock Exchange as well as Eurozone or Asian exchanges. GDRs and other dividends are priced in the local currency of the exchange where the shares are traded. And GDRs represent an easy liquid way for a US and international investors to own foreign stocks. In short, a GDR is a type of bank certificate that represents shares in a foreign company, such that a foreign branch of an international bank then holds the shares. Now, the shares themselves trade on domestic shares, but globally. So, various bank branches offer shares for sale. Now, the private markets use GDRs to raise capital denominated in either US dollars or euros. So when private markets attempt to obtain euros instead of US dollars, GDRs are referred as the EDRs. Lastly, to explain you, investors trade GDRs in multiple markets as they are considered to be negotiable certificates, of course. So investors use capital markets to facilitate the trade of long-term debt instruments and for the purpose of generating capital. So GDR transactions in international market tend to have lower associated costs than some other mechanisms that investors use to trade in foreign securities, right? So in this particular video, we have understood three concepts thoroughly, that is corporate debt restructuring, strategic debt restructuring, and global depository research, right? That's all for today's video. In the next video, we'll be doing the another part of unit 2. We'll be continuing, okay? So in the meanwhile, you should study these three concepts because these three concepts will be used continuously in financial laws. It's very important. Okay, so see you all in the next video. Till then, take care.